wanted just to remind you of what's been happening. Just a general overview of how this workflow works and what happens when we're running our application. So in the home page, there are no inquiries listed in our database at the moment in our storage. We press the add button, which it takes us to this page, which is the edit inquiry page. Now the controls that we have on this page are 3 boxes, one of which is a select and a button. And these are linked in terms of their data linking, which is two-way binding, to the interface model that we've got, which is of type inquiry. So we've got an ID, a number, and a phone. So when we get our inquiry made, we set that up so that we can create it to fit the needs of that data structure. So what we do in our interface is we add and I'll just select the first one, and we save the inquiry, and it goes straight back to the home page, which is now showing the elements that we have stored on this home page. Now in this we can click it, and if we choose that we no longer want that, we can delete it, and we go straight back to the home page, because in the inquiry page the on trash is this piece of code here, and it simply runs and deletes the record. It goes back to the home page. If nav control, go back, and that's all right. So this inquiry service is running here, and it's using the on trash. So it's using the delete inquiry, which is called by the on trash method within the system. So that's really, really good, and we know exactly what's happening. Just splices out that record and saves the whole data set again to get rid of that problem we had before, where the IDs, which are based on the length of the array, were becoming confused. So that's what's happening. What I want to do is that I want to make sure that this section of code, the delete inquiry, which is called from in here on the on trash method, gives the user a chance to change their mind. You've all been there, you deleted the file and gone, oh dear, what have I done? So that's to get round that particular issue. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create an option in here to help the user confirm that he or she really does want to delete the record that's been selected. So how do we create an alert? How do we create something that tells somebody that there's a decision to be made? Well, in the docs for Ionic, we go to the UI components, and there it is, right there, alert. And it describes briefly what it can do, and there are several versions of what it can do. And the way that the docs work is that they'll present you with the different options that are here on the right-hand side, which describe what we can do with an alert. Now, an alert is a modal dialog box, and that means that nothing can happen in code while this box is awaiting its response. However, you may remember that we used async before, and that allows other things to happen within the system, within the program code, while it's awaiting for something else. So that's what we're going to do. And so if we go down here in the various usages, we're going to be working, obviously we're in an Angular type application, and you can see that the alert is the first one, and so forth, and we're looking for the confirm, and there it is there. The confirm code is there. Now we're going to set this confirm code up so that it runs inside our on trash method. So what you would do is you would copy this particular code here down to the await alert present, make it suit our own needs for our application, and then I'll show you how we can make it do the delete only once we get the confirmation message. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for this code. So I've got it on my clipboard, and I'm going to do some adjustments to it to make sure that it runs in the way that we want it to run. So the first thing we're going to do is that on our onTrash method, which is here, I'm going to first make it async. What that means is that the code can continue to run while things are happening elsewhere in the code execution sequences. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make space for this here. Forgive all those red lines, which are just my JS lint, which is supposed to tidy the code up. And I'm going to get the code off my... and I've pasted it in. So let me go through this one by one. Now what we've got is a problem is that we don't know about this yet. It doesn't know about what an alert controller is. So we have to do our usual thing, and we're going to import it from the... it fits with the Ionic library here, so we can just add it here. So it's now added to that. Just make a little space there. And of course we have to do a constructor for it. So private so we now know about it, and you'll see that this has now disappeared, the error that we had down here. So in our onTrash method, let's go through it one by one. We make a constant, which is a variable type thing of alert, which is going to await the alert controller being created. And inside our alert controller, it's going to have a header, which is confirm delete, message, are you sure, Paul? Now, I think this is a really good way in which you can help to customize the evidence that you've got to validate that it is you that's done it, because why would anybody else have done that? So you would change Paul to your name. And then the buttons that we have on our alert controller are two. There's the first one, this is from the left to the right. The first one is called, got a text of cancel, and its role is cancel. Its CSS style is secondary. That just gives it a colour of blue, I think. Yeah, blue. And in fact, we don't need it to do anything other than that. It just describes itself. And because its role is cancel, if this is pressed, the alert just disappears. However, we've got this other button which says delete, and it has what's called a handler. And the handler is that it will operate on this code that we want to run inside these curly braces. So what code do we want to run? We want to run this code. Cut it from there. Put it in there. So we then put our code through. So this is what happens when the alert confirm button is pressed. It will run the code that we previously had as our delete code. But this time the user has confirmed what they want to happen. So I'll compile and save, or save and compile, sorry, and then we'll see how it works. So I've added a record just to show you that we are going to have some data to work with. So let's add another one just so that we can make sure we can discriminate between the two types of things that we want to work with. So it's so we've got the record there. Oh, sorry, I didn't add an inquiry, so I'll do buggy. So that's good. So save the inquiry. So it's edited now. So let's see what happens when we use our delete button now. So if I select the record, press delete, my alert is coming up. Now it follows exactly what we've got on here. We've got our text, which is cancel. The role is cancel. The color is blue, which is the secondary. So the right hand button is called delete, and this time it has a handler. So if I press cancel, the alert box just shuts. So that's what happened. So nothing has changed. If I press delete again, this code in here, when I press the delete button, will run, and it will delete our record just as it did before. And that's exactly what's happened. So that's a good way of giving a sort of safety net for users so that they don't accidentally delete things. It doesn't stop making mistakes, but at least you've given them a chance to do things the right way. So that's how we use an alert to give people a confirmation message.